Hello everyone, it is Donna Bell, and I thought today I'm making some Christmas ephemera for my Christmas journal, and this is one of the items that I have made. It was inspired by Gail Augustinelli, not sure, and Michelle Ratcliffe, and I thought I would make one to show you how I did it. So we have our card. You can get Christmas cards at the Dollar Tree. They're just playing cards. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make ourselves a little tab to go at the top like I did there. Now the way I did mine was I used my hole punch and I just placed it in there like this. And I punched the corner off. Flip it over, and you got to flip it over so that it's even. If you don't flip it over, it's not going to come out right. And then the other side, and please cut it right. Okay, that came out okay. All right, let me move these out of the way. And then that will be placed at the top of there. For now, I will go ahead and I will glue that. Grab a little piece of paper here to paste on. Okay. And then we're going to place it in the center. Place it in the center, even with this little piece and this little piece. Okay. See, do we have that in the middle? Right there. All right. Before I do that though, I need to take some coffee dyed paper. I think I've used up all my scraps yesterday, so let me find a piece of coffee dyed paper to use. Let's see this piece. There's a piece right here. And what we will do is we will glue this down on there. We will glue that down onto there. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut that out. So now this is what we have. Let's smooth it out really well. And then we put this on. Make sure we get it at the top. And these two little corners here and here you want to line up at the top. Just like that. And then paste it down. Let me put a little bit more glue there. And we're just going to line those two up. just like that. Make sure you got it centered. Okay. Alright, I got a little too much glue, so I'm going to just kind of take my baby wipe and wipe that off. So this is what we have so far. Okay. Alrighty. At this point, I'm going to take my ribbon and measure me a piece, and you can put it on this side or this side. On this card, I do not want to cover up the cardinal, so I'm just going to put it on this side. Let me even that off at the top. Lay it down, measure it out, how much we need, and cut it off. Now we're going to glue that down. Okay. Making sure we get it even with the edge on this side. Okay, we'll trim that off even at the bottom. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to measure our pocket. I want it to stick just under that edge, and we need to trim it right there. So we need to put a little bit of glue here. Stick that just under the edge of there. Just like so. Alright, let's flip it over. Make sure we got it even and trim it up. Alright, I'm going to put a little bit of glue here to hold it. We're going to take it to the machine in a little bit and sew it. Make sure you got everything nice and even. Okay, now I'm going to lay this aside because I'm not going to sew it on camera. So now we would, at this point, we would have our little pocket made. The next thing we would do is make our little embellishment to go inside of it. So that's what we'll do now. So we have this, and you would take it to your machine and you would stitch across, down, around the bottom, and back up the side to have this effect. Okay. Now we're going to make our little embellishment. So I have here some these little things, and I think I'll use this one. And we need just a scrap of coffee dyed paper. So and if you have some scraps, you can use those. I've used all of mine up. So I'm just going to measure. And cut. Okay. fold that in half and hope that we cut that the right size. And then we are just going to paste that onto there. Let me get my distress ink. Let me pause for a second. Okay, so I've got my distress ink, and I'm going to distress around the edges of my little embellishment piece. And my little paper. Want to get both sides. Flip it over and do the other side. I find this to be stress relieving. I really do. How about you ladies? Do y'all enjoy doing this? I think these are cute little embellishments, especially for a Christmas journal. Okay, so we've got that done. Now we're just going to put our paste on here. And lay it down on this side. Want to make sure you get it on the right side. I have a habit of getting it on the wrong one. And just glue it down. And there you have your little embellishment to go inside. So there's that one. And I will take it in and I will stitch around it later today on my sewing machine. I have it in another room. And it will come out looking like this. The only difference is I added the coffee dyed paper this time. So there's that. The next thing we're going to make is we're going to make this. Okay, the first thing we need to do is, this is already blank on the back side, so we'll just leave it. The first thing we need to do is simply to, let's see, our tab is about like that. We need another piece of paper to do the tab. I think we'll do the tab out of this. Okay, so we need it to be, let's see, like that. Okay, so we'll measure that down, just like that. And then I'll cut that off. Okay, lay that aside. Now, it needs to be about that wide, so cut that off. Okay. And again, we're going to take our hole punch. And we want the folded part at the top, the creased part. And we're going to stick it in there. And let's see, I think I did about like, I measure it up to that little dot there. See the little triangular part there? You got your X. I measure it up to that part of that X there, just like that. Hold it up. Up to there like that. And then making sure I have it lined up. Okay, so there's that side. Now let's flip it over so that it's the same, because if you don't flip it up over, it will not come out the same. And I do the other side. Okay, so now we have our little tab. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to stick it down. I want to cover that poker thing. And I get the corners, I line those up with the even with the top, just like that. And I'm going to staple that across the bottom. Let's make sure we got it lined up, and we're going to staple it. Okay. So now we have this. The next thing I'm going to do is make my little ticket. So I have some, let's see, what have I got here, scrap paper wise. Okay, I have this little paper, and let's see, just cut myself a piece off. And we want it to be about like right there. That. And again, we're going to take our hole punch, and we're just going to do the very edge. Okay, flip it over. Do another one. Bring it around. Another one, flip it over, and another one. And there you have your ticket. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take another one of these little things, and you can use any kind of little embellishment that you have to dress it up. It doesn't have to be the same as what I have. You can use whatever you have on hand. Let's see. I think we'll use that one. Okay. And let's just ink it up around the edges. Give it that vintage look. And we're going to do the same thing with our ticket. And we're going to do both sides. I'm going to distress this side too. Okay. Let's see, I think I want a little bit more distress ink there. Make it look good and vintage. Alright, so now we have this, and we're going to put that on there somehow. And now we need a word. Let's see. Somewhere here I have, and I think I'm going to use the word Christmas right there. Cut that out. Cut that off the bottom, trim it up, get rid of that. And now I'm going to distress that. I am using Old Time Photo, but you can use whatever you have on hand. And we'll put that on there. And if I can find my stamp, Believe stamp that I had yesterday. And my black ink. Let me pause and find my black ink. Okay, so I found my ink, and I just have my little word, believe, here. I'm just going to put it on there and hope that it out right, and stamp it. Just like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some glue. First I'm going to staple this, just like this, onto my thing. I'm going to hold it very carefully. I should have stamped it afterwards, but I'm going to staple that, just like that. Now I'm going to glue my little word on there. Just like that. And there we have it. Another cute little Christmas embellishment. And you could stitch around the edges of these as well if you wanted to. So there's two. And the next thing we're going to make is this little thing. I have a mess on my desk. Oh my gosh, I have a mess on my desk. Alright. So, I'm going to cut this image out, but I need it to be a perfect square, because I don't have a bingo card. So we're going to do something just a little bit different. The same, but a little bit different. So I'm going to cut my little image out. Now, because I want it to be good and sturdy, I'm going to back that onto some of this. But I think I'm going to leave just a border around the edge of it, which is what I'm going to do. So let's glue this onto our paper. Alrighty. Now, let's bring our paper cover back up and cut that off. We want it, let's see, we got about that much. We want just about right there. Yeah. Lay that aside. And let's see, about right there. Now, I should have distressed around the edges of my paper here, and I didn't. Let's see what we can do to kind of give it that, fix that. Give it that old vintage look. I would recommend doing that beforehand, but I forgot. Alright, so we've got that old, looking old and vintage now. The next thing we're going to do is, I've got my paper here, and you can use any size paper for this, is we're going to glue that onto there. Now I could use that, or I could use this, and I think I'm going to use this, so let me trim that off at the bottom. Bring this back up, put our paper in there, make sure we got it straight. And we'll trim that off. Now we're going to glue this onto here. Just like that. And bring it over, decide where we want it. And just simply line it up with the edge of your paper and smooth it down. Now you could even leave it open at the top for a pocket if you choose to do so. Okay, I need to trim this up a little bit up here. And now we're just going to fold it. Sorry, my stomach's growling. Just like that, and then fold it up just like that. And then if you need to trim any edges up, this is the time to do it. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to distress around the edges. Okay. Distress around all your edges, nice, making it look nice and vintage. This is why my fingers are always a mess. Always stained. Okay, flip it over this way and go along and do it again. My stomach's growling. Haven't eaten today. I need to make myself go eat. Okay. Now we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. and flip it again so that you can get this side. Okay. And then now let's check to make sure we got all our sides done, and that looks good. Got them all this way. Simply fold it up, and there you have it. And if you need to trim off, which I think I do, now is the time to do it. And there you have your beautiful journal card for putting into a tuck. So now we have this. We've done this. And let's see, what else was I going to do? Let's make a tag. See, how many minutes are we? 32? Let's make a tag. Let's see what we can do to make a tag. We'll take this. And since this is not double-sided, what we'll do is close that up so it doesn't get dried out. We'll fold it over. Let's take our glue stick. Or you could just leave the back white, however you want to do. But I like mine to be double-sided. So we're going to do this. Okay, so now we've got that. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my corners off. And you can save these corners because you can use them, and I'll show you in a second what I mean by that. Okay, now we're going to distress it. Let's go around and distress our edges. Flip it over, do the same to the other side. Oops. See if I can wipe that off. Yeah. Before it dries. There goes my stomach growling again. I'm going to have to stop here soon and go get myself something to eat. Okay, there. So now we have this. We've got it distressed around all sides. The camera's not picking it up very good, but it is distressed around all four sides. All sides, yeah. All right. The next thing we're going to do, let's pull one out. Let's find one that we like. Let's see. I've got several in here. So let's find one that we really like. I think I may have already pulled one out. I did, but I don't know where I put it, so here. Let's make one like this. Okay. And I've got this little image here. Let's tear one of these off. These are just some little tissues. I think you can get these at Tuesday morning. I'm just going to clip off another little Santa Claus here. Put that back up there. Now we need to pull the ply off. Let's see. There we go. There's one. And now I'm just going to very gently tear this. Now, there's different ways of doing this. This is what works best for me. You do what works best for you. I'm just going to tear that around. Some people use a little paintbrush and water. I have just found that this works best for me. So everybody is different. I'll leave that one, well, probably leave it straight so that I don't, because the way the print is, it's kind of hard to get it on that edge there. Okay. Maybe we'll just put him to the side over here like that. That's what we'll do. Okay. I've got my Mod Podge, and Mod Podge is simply 3 parts glue, one part glue, 3 parts. Never mind, my brain's flaking out. I'll put the link to it in my description box. And it doesn't take a whole lot of glue. Just a little goes a long, long way. Line that up very gently, smoothing it out. And I'm going to go ahead and cover my whole card with it. Alrighty. Let me wrap my paintbrush back up. If you keep your paintbrush wrapped in saran wrap, it will stay. It will keep for you. It will cause it to rust, so you can't use it forever like that, but it does work. Alright, I'll put the link to the Mod Podge in the description box for you because my dementia's kicked in and I just can't remember what the recipe was for it. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to make this little ticket. So we have a little piece already cut. Let's cut some off of it. Alright. Using our little punch, we're going to do the same thing. So now we have our ticket, and let's just distress around it. Just like that. Let's do the other side too. Not going to show, but let's do it just for the fun of it. Alright, so we've got our ticket. Let's grab another one of these little things and distress around it. I am going to have to stop and get me something to eat. My stomach is just growling. I am so hungry. Alright, so we want that. And I've got some of my little pieces that I've saved. My little corners that I've cut off my tags. And all we're going to do is I'm going to staple that onto there. Just like that. Oops, didn't quite get it. Let's try that again, shall we? Hold it with my finger, make sure I got it straight. Slide it under there and staple. We got it that time. Now let's take our distress and distress that right there. Okay, see we have a little banner there now. And next we're going to put this on here, just like this. And we need a little word. Let's see. What do we have here? Let me see my words. Okay, let's see. Let's use the word happy. How about that? Well, how about we use all is calm? Let's just use that whole phrase this time. Goodness, my stomach is growling. All right. We're going to put that on there. Let's slide that under our little banner. And we're going to go ahead and we'll glue that on after. So let's staple this on. No, maybe I should go ahead and glue that on. Let's go ahead and glue that on. Let's do that. Are you confused yet? Find my little pin so I can unplug my glue. Okay. So we've got that on there. Now let's take our stapler and I think I want to move it up just a little bit like this. and staple it just like that. Now we're going to get our little believe and ink it up again. And I think we'll put it just like that. Oh, and I got it upside down, but that's okay. That's okay, because it's a ticket. Alright, and now we're going to take it. Our thing is not quite dry yet. Let's see, we need to punch our hole. And I don't have a fancy hole punching gadget, so... And I'm going to take this later and sew it. No, I'm not. Let me just go ahead and close that up. Clean my hands. And glue this where it did not glue. Now we're going to take our hole punch and punch our hole. Alright. And I think I want to put this on this side this time. So, make sure we got it on there right. Just like that. And take our stapler. We're going to come right here and staple somewhere there. All right. And take some eyelash trim and put it through there, pull it up, through from the front, loop it around, and pull it up. And there we have our beautiful little tag. Okay, we have all this calm up here, so I'm not going to put anything down here like I did on this one. So I think this one has everything that it needs, and when it dries we'll put it under a book so that it won't be all wompy. And there you have it. So we have made 4 embellishments for our little book for a journal. So there you have it. We have our little card, and I still have to take it to the machine and stitch around it with our little pocket and our little booklet. We have our little journal card here. We have our tag, and we have our little journal fold out. So there you have it, our 4 beautiful little embellishments for our Christmas journal. So I thank y'all. I hope you've enjoyed crafting along with me on this video, and I thank you, and God bless, and have a good day. Bye-bye.